Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in on this Monday morning bright and early. Hope you all had a nice weekend. We do have Sophia on the other end over in Australia helping me out technically. So if you do have any questions during this, please feel free to fire them through as we're going and I'll answer at the end. So we're going to do a focus on France today, a little bit more in depth on French rail for you. And let's fire away. So why travel to France? The specific train travel within France and the types of trains, France and beyond, international trains, the Eurail France Pass, and also I'm going to give you a few tips on our website as well. Not France related, but very handy to know. So firstly, why shall we travel to France? Well, you probably know this being travel agents, but Paris is known to be the city of romance with spectacular jaw-dropping monuments such as Notre Dame, you've got Mona Lisa, the Louvre, and of course the world famous landmark, the Eiffel Tower, and these are only in Paris. So France has some amazing landmarks to see. It's a country where tourists can discover the uniqueness of France, from their language and culture that's fiercely protected by its people to its taste in food, wine and cheese, arts and architecture. So we have a really extensive rail network in France. It is the most extensive network in Europe. 32,000 kilometres of railway tracks means that there's pretty much anywhere you want to go you can get to by train. Trains travel at speeds of up to 320 km an hour and the high speeds TGVs and connects 150 towns and cities in France. The very big bonus of France also is that tickets are all issued as e-tickets, which a few people probably didn't know, but that is a really good positive thing. So firstly, TGV. In our line of work, we talk about TGV a lot, which might not mean anything to you. So TGV is a high-speed train. It's actually, let me give it a go, train à grande vitesse. And this is the high-speed train network in France. The TGV is just a broad term for a high-speed train, really. It connects all of the major cities of France and travels at speeds of 300 km an hour, as I said, up to 320. And they do have first and second class on board all TGV trains as well. When we say a regional train, for example, this is obviously not a TGV, it's more of a smaller domestic train, which will have only second class on most of them as well. So the routes for this network are, as you can see, quite extensive. So they mainly branch out from a hub of Paris. You've got 1 to 2 hour travel times to get out to Lille, Rennes, Lyon, and up to 21 daily round trips, for example, Paris to Lyon. So heaps of departures, really extensive network. Now, first class travel, the difference between the classes, the first class has a solo seat, a few solo seats for peace and privacy. You've also got 2 adjoining seats or club space for working in groups of 2 or 4 as well. You've got power sockets for charging. The seats are larger and they recline electronically as well. And there's also a space for a wheelchair person as well if it's available. The traveller must request that when they're making their reservation with us. And then some first class options do have a taxi reservation on board, which is available with the train manager on specific TGV routes. So generally the Lille Paris, Paris Rennes or Paris Nice routes do have that available to them if they want to book a taxi on board before they get there. Second class, still comfortable, still convenient. You've got more of a 4:2 ratio of seating. You've got access to the bar and the restaurant or dining car. And then you've got the kiosk, which is 16 seats for smaller groups, or I think it's a car for travelling in groups of 4, which is where you sit and look inwards for a view. There's also a number 1 car, which is a salon that can accommodate 6 people. Facing each other as well, and that's separate, completely separate to the rest of the car. So if you do have a group of 6, we can try and reserve that too. The second class is just as comfortable. Just your luggage storage, as you can see down the bottom there, is at the end of the carriage on a few racks. There's a little bit more luggage storage in first class as well. Now, other services on board these trains are they do have an onboard nursery. So this is equipped with a dressing table and a bottle warmer, and it's in second class car as well. You get a choice of newspapers and magazines to buy. The food and bar counter are open for the whole train journey, and you'll find a variety of food from in there. I would take cash. I think they sometimes take card, but we have had feedback that that's not always working, so take cash if you're wanting to buy beverages and meals on board. There are facilities for disabled travellers as well on all major routes. The TGV has a special coach in first class, which is accessible with a second class ticket, so that's good to note. So even if they are second class passengers in a wheelchair bound, they do get access to that first class accessible cabin, which has a built-in wheelchair lift and a bookable space for a wheelchair too. There's also facilities at the major French rail stations as well. So France and beyond. So the TGV doesn't just operate in and through France, it does go internationally into other countries as well. So, as I said, into Switzerland, Italy, Spain, and more is taking this. So this is the high-speed international train. The first one being the TGV Lyria. So this one runs in and out of France and Switzerland. So its main hub is Paris once again, but this goes through to Geneva, Bern, Lausanne, Zurich, Basel. It also does south of Geneva. So you've got Geneva down to Marseille and Nice. So the TGV Lyria is similar to the other TGVs, but it's an international. You can book these within 120 days. It is important to note that international TGVs do come with a slightly higher seat reservation cost than the domestic ones as well, let people know, but it is a really fast and easy way of getting between countries. You don't need to stop at borders as well. On the train they might have border crossing people come through if you are going across the border, but generally not really. So that's a good thing not to have to worry about. The Italian TGV between France to Italy is just one route, which is between Paris, Turin and Milan. The full route is between Paris and Milan is about 7 hours. Paris to Turin is 5.5. And there's 3 daily services. The train does not go from Milan Central, so make sure clients are aware that that comes to and from Milano Porta Garibaldi station. So not Milan Central, but it is a great way of getting from and to nice and quick. Even though it takes 5 to 6 or 7 hours, it is a route that's going to take a lot longer if they don't do the high speed. So on this train, they obviously still have first and second class carriages. You've got more comfortable seats in your first class, ergonomic headrests and footrests, fold down tray tables. You've got a 2:2 ratio in second class or a 2:1 ratio in first class. Once again, space for a wheelchair as well. And then family services. So our family area is located in second class for the France-Italy TGVs. This offers 4 seats facing one another and is separated from the rest of the carriage by a glass partition. The folding seats and table have a games board, and it allows customers to free up a bit of space for storing a pushchair in there as well. And then the nursery is also nearby to that family area. So that's on the high-speed France-Italy train. To Spain, France to Spain high-speed TGV, you can travel between France and Spain in under 6.5 hours. It is called the TGV Euro Duplex. So the Euro Duplex basically means it's a upper and lower big train. You've got first class with 181 seats and second class 328 seats. So the benefit of first class is you can have a solo seat, or you can join seats once again, but you can have access to the Renfe Club Lounge and the major stations such as Barcelona Sants, Madrid, and that can be accessed up to 2 hours prior with your boarding pass if you have a first class ticket. That's not a promotion fare. So if you're on a a sale or a promo fare, you can't get access to the lounge, but if you're on a full price first class ticket, you can. You have power sockets at the seats, and once again, a space for a wheelchair position as well. So this does connect 21 cities between the two countries and allows for connections to multiple destinations from there as well. So the Eurail France Pass, we have now had a great rejig of the Eurail product this year. So we've now got only a simplified single country or a multi global pass. So the Eurail France Pass would be your single country pass. And the slight difference or changes that they've made this year are a positive, which is great. So there used to be a choice of 3, 4, 5 or 8 days on a French rail pass. They've now added some new validities, which are 1, 2, 6 or 7 days. So you've basically got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to choose from within a 1 month period. So if they're even doing just 1 day around France, it could be worthwhile doing that French rail pass, especially if they are taking an international TGV where the prices can be a little bit higher on point to point. Do have a look at that. Even 1 day can be worthwhile on a pass. So to give you an example of pass versus point to point, and we're just in a quick one from Paris through Bordeaux to Lyon. So this is 2 sectors for an adult in first class. So on a point to point ticket, you can see Paris to Bordeaux direct $131, and then Bordeaux to Lyon is 2 trains, and that's $200. So total cost of $330 per person for point to point doing this route. If you currently took the rail pass is currently on promotion until tomorrow, and then you took seat reservations, it will come out to $283 per person. So it does make a difference. It does depend on the train and depend on the day and time and things like that. So it is worth working it out first. You don't have to do that though. We can do that for you. So if you want to come through to our res team and say, we want to do here to here, is it going to be cheaper on a pass or point to point? That's what we're there for, and we'll work that out for you. But in this instance, Paris to Lyon, it is cheaper doing a pass and point to point than point to point. So the benefits of the Eurail France Pass is children do travel free on Eurail passes. So 4 to 11 years inclusive, you do travel free on the pass. They still need to book a seat reservation in addition to that. They're competitive prices, and we currently have this promotion. I think it's 10% off Eurail passes at the moment, which ends tomorrow. Promotions do come out quite frequently over the course of the year. The main difference in a promotion, other than the price, is that passes are then non-refundable. So at the moment, a general pass is, if it's unvalidated and hasn't been started use, it is refundable with a cancellation fee up to 12 months after issuing. So if they then decide they're not going or they get unwell, it is refundable. If they, however, have a promo pass, that is non-refundable and non-changeable. So there is that downside to that. Pass has really good flexibility and freedom compared to your point-to-points, but do consider that passes are paper tickets. Your seat reservations are generally paper tickets as well, so they do need to do them before they go or at the station locally. But seat reservations are sometimes limited, so they do need to be aware of that, especially, for example, the Eurostar. You don't want to be leaving that to do a seat reservation until you get there, because they may have run out of seat reservations. You'll then have to pull a full price ticket. Passes need to be locally validated before they board. So if you are sending them across to France, they do need to, the first train that they're going to get on, they do need to go into the station, into their booth, and get it validated, the pass, before they get on the train. If they don't get that validated, and no one will specifically look at it until they get on the train, but that can cause some problems, and you can get fined if it hasn't been validated before they get on. Right, so the France bonuses. So there is any Eurail pass, whether it's a global or the single country pass, do actually have quite a few bonuses included. So the France pass has discounted city passes. So for example, Lyon, Bordeaux, if you show the pass locally at a tourist office, they can get a discount ranging from 15 to 50%, depending on the city. for your hop-on, hop-off buses, or your city passes that could include the metro. They could include all sorts of things. So it is worth looking at the bonuses. There's a lot of them to look through for all the different countries. So just narrow it down to the country that they're looking at, and you can find that information on our website for all the bonuses of the pass. Most bonuses do need to be used locally, so we can't pre-book these things for them. Saying that Disneyland, so on the right there we've got €20 discount if they have a URL pass. They do need to pre-book that on a specific website link, but that's a really good discount as well. Then they get 10% off Citadines hotels, and the Talus Lounge is available for first class holders with a Talus reservation at Paris Nord as well. So some really good bonuses. So some tips on seat reservations. Seat reservations are compulsory on high-speed trains, so all of those TGV trains, they do require a seat reservation. If they don't have one before they go, they're going to be told to get one before they're allowed access to the train. As I said, reservations can be limited, so they do better to book it here before they go. They may have an allotment of seat reservations, so say 100 reservations. Once they're gone, they will then only book full price tickets. So you may see that there's space on the train, but they will have an allotment only of seat reservations. So do get in early, even if they have to do it locally. Do all of them as you can in the beginning, if possible, rather than waiting to the day of travel. I'd highly recommend they do it at least a few days prior. Booking horizons are 90 to 100 days in advance for France. And just to note that international journeys can charge a higher reservation fee. So they are slightly higher. Reservation fees are generally around that $18 to $80 mark. So you've got a slightly higher fee for an international train, but you will see that the point-to-point ticket is quite high in comparison to that. So worth doing the rail pass. Now, there is a few different ways of doing different sectors and using seat reservations as well. So this is an example for someone travelling on a rail pass with seat reservations. So not a pass versus point-to-point. They're on a pass in both options. But they can either take a direct service or they could take an indirect service, spend a little bit more time but less money. So for this example, this is between Paris and Basel, where the TGV Lyria operates. The TGV Lyria, the seat reservation fee is $115 per person. So it is quite high. If they wanted to save a little bit of money, if they can't really afford that, they can take the option of going via Mulhouse. So it's not a direct fare. They do have to change trains, but it only adds about 30 minutes extra to their travel, and they'll save close to $100 by doing that. So there is ways of doing that. So if you ever see quite a high seat reservation, such as the TGV Lyria, you can look at other ways of breaking it down on the multi-city search or the timetables button to see a different route of going to, and see if that saves money. Also come through to us if you want to see if there's another way. So that's just a wee tip. Another tip is our copy route. So this doesn't have anything to do with France, but it is a quite new tip on our website. So you can now do a quote and you can save that quote as such, which is fantastic news for all of you guys. So once you've done your multi-city search, you've typed in a few sectors, generally you'll quote it to a client, they'll come back a few days later and you have to type it all in again to book it again. So once you've got all these sectors in there and you've got the dates and the times, etc., you can then click the grey button beside search for trains, which is the copy routes button. This will bring up a link and you can save that link into your file. So when you are ready to go and book it, you just put it back into our website, the link in, and it'll bring it all up for you. Obviously the prices are not held in, so the prices may change if they have sold out, but the routes and dates and times, etc., if you put complete link, will be held. Standard link won't get the, I don't think the times and days, I think it's just the routes. The complete link, if you copy that and save it into their file, it's really handy to go back to. I think we're working on our reservation team also getting this into motion for quotes via phone and email as well. So that brings me to the end of my quick France webinar. Do we have any questions? doesn't look like we do. So thank you very much for coming. I do want to do a quick note on the French rail strikes, just because we are talking about France. Now, these did hit in April last year for 3 months. We are now in April and we haven't heard anything yet, but they may hit again this year. So do be prepared if you do have clients that are going to be going in the next few months, as they may hit French rail strikes. But as soon as we know or hear anything, they will come. We will put information on our website. So you don't need to call to check if a certain train is affected. We'll put up the actual strike days onto our website. So at this stage, we haven't heard anything. There have been a few engineering works on the Eurostar, so do check that in case any trains are affected of that. But in terms of striking, nothing has been announced yet. Eurail have taken quite a bit of time to refund on last year's, so they're still processing refunds on last year's strike. So I would recommend waiting if you do have someone, just to hear what days are striking, when you don't have to cancel and wait for that refund for quite a long time. Cool. So if there's no other questions, I will sign off here. You will get emailed a copy of this at the end, and it will go up on our website as well. So thank you for coming along on this early Monday morning. Have a good day, everyone.